I'm the hottest person in the world. I don't even care. Everyone's just ignoring my phone calls.
I shouldn't be cursing, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I have no self-control.
Rachel Zegler's career was supposed to be unstoppable until one explosive moment sent it spiraling into chaos. What started as her big comeback film has now become a full-blown disaster, with production abruptly shutting down, crew members whispering about toxic behavior, and Hollywood turning its back on her.
This girl does not deserve a feature-length film.
But this isn't just another celebrity scandal. This could be the end of the road for an actress who seemed destined for superstardom. The official story: scheduling conflicts. The real story: a meltdown so severe it forced an entire studio to hit pause. Insiders describe a pattern of unprofessionalism, eye rolls during takes, last-minute script demands, and an attitude that left crew members furious. One lighting technician put it bluntly: she acted like the whole production was beneath her.
If you have any opinions, I don't want to hear them. I'm like so ready to just throw my phone away. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I know it's gonna happen.
But the breaking point came when Rachel allegedly screamed at the director mid-scene, stormed off set, and left an entire crew in stunned silence.
She believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth, or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else.
And here's where things get even messier. Instead of damage control, Rachel went rogue, posting sarcastic TikToks, going on unhinged Instagram rants, and mocking the very people who could salvage her career.
I'm gonna be on a talk show tonight, and I'm gonna talk shit about them on the talk show. Talking shit on the talk show. This is the one time in my life where if you have something to say, I don't want to hear it. To all the people who are up in my DMs trying to guess what character I'm playing, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna answer your DM.
Every move she made seemed designed to dig the hole deeper. Meanwhile, Hollywood's silence has been deafening. No co-stars defending her. No studio executives stepping in. Just a quiet, collective decision to distance themselves from what's quickly becoming the industry's biggest cautionary tale.
I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
But it's also really important to me that I share with you not only the really good, exciting moments, but also like the little blips where I just don't feel great. I think that's really important that you see me as a human being, because I think a lot of people don't. So I don't know. I want that disclaimer out there.
But this isn't just about Rachel. This scandal is rewriting the rules for young stars in Hollywood, and the fallout is only beginning. So what happens when an actress burns every bridge? And is there any way back from a disaster this big? The truth is even darker than the rumors suggest. The warning signs were there for weeks, but no one wanted to admit just how bad things had gotten. Behind the scenes of Rachel Zegler's would-be blockbuster, tensions were boiling over into something far uglier. What started as minor clashes over creative differences erupted into a full-blown war between star and crew. And the moment everything snapped, it wasn't just dramatic, it was career-ending. Multiple sources describe a scene so volatile, even seasoned industry veterans were shocked. During what should have been a routine rehearsal, the director gave Rachel a simple note, just a small adjustment to her delivery. But instead of taking the feedback, she allegedly exploded. Witnesses say she threw her script, accused the director of not understanding talent, and stormed off set while cameras were still rolling.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I know you can get down across the block here. Hold up.
All right.
One extra described the aftermath. You could hear a pin drop. Nobody moved. The director just sat there like he'd been slapped.
I don't want people to see me as ungrateful or anything like that. I was nervous that that's what this makes me look like. I don't want people to see me in a weakened state.
But the real damage came after. Instead of cooling off, Rachel reportedly doubled down, demanding rewrites to make her character more likable, refusing to film with certain co-stars unless changes were made, and turning her trailer into a no-go zone for frustrated crew members.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
The makeup team started rotating shifts just to avoid her. A production assistant later admitted, every day felt like walking on eggshells. She wasn't just difficult. She made the set toxic.
I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part.
And then came the final blow. When news of the shutdown broke, the studio statement was carefully worded. Unforeseen circumstances, but insiders knew the truth. This wasn't about budgets or scheduling. It was about one star's uncontrollable behavior bringing an entire multi-million-dollar production to its knees. The question now isn't just what happened, It's why nobody stopped it sooner. And the answer might reveal Hollywood's dirtiest open secret. When a star implodes this publicly, Hollywood usually rushes to spin the narrative. Managers leak supportive quotes, co-stars post vague Instagram tributes, and PR teams flood journalists with damage control. But for Rachel Zegler, nothing. No carefully worded statements. No, she's misunderstood. Defenses from former collaborators. Just silence. And in an industry that thrives on noise, that silence screams louder than any scandal ever could. Insiders say the lack of support isn't an accident. It's a calculated freeze-out. A-list actors who once name-dropped Rachel at press events are suddenly unavailable for comment. Directors who championed her in the past are now quietly removing her from consideration for future projects. Even her own agency has reportedly begun soft-pedaling her during casting discussions, focusing instead on other clients. One talent manager put it bluntly, nobody wants to attach their name to this mess. It's not just about her, it's about not looking bad for backing the wrong horse. The studio's response, or lack thereof, is perhaps the most damning. Typically, when a lead actor faces controversy during production, executives will at least issue a generic vote of confidence. But in Rachel's case, the only official communication has been a sterile 2-line email to investors about reevaluating the production timeline. No defense of their star, no attempt to downplay the rumors. Just the unmistakable sound of Hollywood's power players stepping back and letting her take the full blowback. This eerie quiet reveals an uncomfortable truth. The industry isn't just disappointed in Rachel. They've already moved on. And the speed at which they've done it suggests this was a long time coming. If Rachel Zegler's on-set behavior was the spark, her social media rampage poured gasoline on the fire. While her team reportedly begged her to stay quiet and let crisis managers handle the fallout, Rachel chose defiance over diplomacy, and the internet will never forget it. It started with an Instagram live that shocked even her most loyal fans. Sitting in a hoodie with smudged makeup, she alternated between sarcastic laughter and bitter rants about fake people in Hollywood. At one point, she smirked into the camera and said, "Guess what? They're all ignoring my calls now. But hey, they're lost, right?" Comments flooded in begging her to stop, with even longtime supporters writing, "Girl, delete this." But Rachel wasn't done. She followed up with TikTok clips mocking the production shutdown, using trending audio like "Oops, I did it again," over footage of herself laughing in full costume. Then came the now infamous tweet. Fun fact, when they say creative differences, what they mean is we can't handle real talent. Stay mad. The internet erupted, not in her defense, but in disbelief. One viral reply read, "This isn't the slay you think it is. You're burning your career on Maine." Industry insiders say these posts crossed an unforgivable line. Unlike private tantrums, her public taunts gave the studio concrete evidence of unprofessionalism, screenshots that reportedly went straight to their legal team. Worse, they alienated the last group still rooting for her fans. Overnight, hashtags like #ReplaceZegler and #ZeglerIsOver trended worldwide, with fan-edited trailers inserting other actresses into her role. But the most devastating consequence, those posts may have violated strict morality clauses in her contracts. We've obtained exclusive details about the fallout and how one tweet could cost Rachel millions. Behind the memes and viral outrage lies something far more dangerous: contracts with teeth. Rachel Zegler's public meltdown didn't just damage her reputation, it triggered a series of legal landmines that could obliterate her future in Hollywood. And the studio isn't just walking away, they're preparing to make sure she never works like this again. Multiple clauses in standard A-list contracts suddenly became weapons against her. Morality clause violations. Most blockbuster deals require actors to avoid bringing production into disrepute. Rachel's social media taunts about the film's crew? Textbook violation. Confidentiality breaches. By mocking script changes and director conflicts online, she may have exposed protected creative discussions. Toxic workplace claims. Crew testimonies about her behavior could support a hostile environment claim, giving the studio grounds to sue her for delays. A veteran entertainment lawyer we spoke to was blunt. This isn't just about firing her, it's about setting precedent. Studios will use her case to scare other young talent into compliance. Even more alarming, the studio's insurance nightmare. When productions collapse due to talent disruptions, insurers can refuse payout, leaving Rachel potentially liable for millions in losses. There's already talk of clawing back her upfront salary. But the darkest twist, Rachel's own team is reportedly lawyering up against her. Agents and managers fear being sued for failing to control their client, with one insider whispering they'll throw her under the bus to save their own reputations. This isn't just career suicide, it's a financial and legal apocalypse, and the first court filings could drop any day. Rachel Zegler's meltdown didn't just end her own career, it sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry, rewriting the rules for how studios handle young talent. What started as one actress's self-destruction has become a cautionary tale so powerful, it's altering contracts, shifting casting decisions, and forcing a brutal reckoning for the next generation of stars. The new Hollywood playbook, social media clauses. Studios are now inserting mandatory approval processes for all actor posts during productions. One leaked contract even requires pre-screening of personal content for tone and risk assessment. Behavioral deposits. Rising stars are being asked to put up to 20% of their salary in escrow, forfeit if they're deemed disruptive. The No Zegler clause. Multiple projects now explicitly require actors to have no history of onset conflicts in their deal memos. Casting directors admit off-record that Rachel's name has become shorthand for high-risk talent. One anonymously confessed, "We used to chase viral stars. Now we run background checks on their attitude before auditioning them." But the darkest fallout? It's punishing the wrong people. Talented young actors with actual professionalism are getting sidelined because execs fear another Zegler situation. One promising actress told us her dream role was killed last minute when a studio head asked, "Is she opinionated online?" The irony? Rachel wanted to be a revolutionary. Instead, she became the reason Hollywood is cracking down harder than ever. And as the industry quietly blacklists not just her, but anyone who fits her profile, one question remains. Is there any way back from this? The answer might shock you.
What an idiot I've been as a young person in this industry who has no filter and no idea what she's doing.
Hollywood loves a redemption story. But for Rachel Zegler, the path back isn't just uphill. It might not exist at all. The industry has a long history of rehabilitating fallen stars, but this time feels different. Why? Because Rachel didn't just break the rules. She exposed a flaw in the system, and now the gatekeepers are making sure no one follows her. The three scenarios, and why they likely won't work. The humble apology route. Problem: most canceled stars lay low, then return with a tearful interview about growth. But Rachel's defiance has been so public and so recent that any sudden humility would ring hollow. Reality check. PR experts say her Instagram live rants did something rare. They killed the possibility of believable remorse. One crisis manager put it bluntly, "You can't unburn a bridge while you're still holding the lighter." The indie film savior play. Problem: troubled A-listers often flee to art house films to prove their artistry. But indie directors we spoke to are more wary than studios. "Small budgets can't risk a meltdown," said one Sundance winner. "We'd rather cast an unknown." Cold truth, even the indie circuit has quietly blacklisted her. A leaked email from a festival programmer read, "Pass on Zegler, we don't need the drama." The streamer Hail Mary. Problem: Netflix and Apple have resurrected dead careers before. See Robert Downey Jr. But streamers now prioritize algorithm-friendly stars, and Rachel's name is toxic to engagement. Data from her recent projects shows 75% drop-off rates after her controversies trended. A streaming exec admitted, "We tested her in audience surveys." Viewers literally wrote, "Not her," in the comments. There's one proven way back, but it requires Rachel to disappear completely. Not for months, for years. History shows that only total absence makes the industry forget. See Megan Fox, Shia LaBeouf. But here's the catch. By the time audiences might tolerate her again, Hollywood will have moved on to newer, less problematic stars. This isn't a scandal. It's an extinction event. And the most shocking part? Rachel might not even realize it yet. The door didn't just close behind her. They bricked it shut.